In 1953, Army biochemist Frank Olson, who worked with CIA programs, fell from a New York hotel window on the 10th floor. The government called it suicide. Years later, his family uncovered a secret experiment. The room smelled of stale liquor and cigarette ash. A broken window frame sat open to cold night air. On the sidewalk, a body lay twisted on the pavement. Inside, men in suits spoke quietly. They wrote one word, suicide, then moved on. The hotel was the Hotel Statler in Manhattan. The man was Dr. Frank Olson. He worked at Fort Detrick in Maryland. At the time, authorities treated the death as a suicide. CIA internal accounts later provided to investigators supported the suicide narrative. Witnesses heard a crash, then silence. By morning, the case file was thin, then closed. Olson was not a spy. He was a biochemist. He helped research aerosols and biological agents at Fort Detrick. That work had a paper trail in Army and CIA records. Then came a separate track, hidden under code names. In CIA records, the work later became associated with projects like MKUltra, CIA behavioral and drug research that included LSD. LSD was a tool. The goal was interrogation leverage. Subjects were often unwitting. Many subjects were unwitting and did not give informed consent. In mid-November 1953, often reported as November 19th, Olson attended a CIA-linked meeting at Deep Creek Lake, where LSD was secretly administered. Sidney Gottlieb, a senior CIA chemist in the technical services staff, arranged the LSD dosing at the meeting. According to CIA accounts later given to investigators, drinks were spiked with LSD. Olson did not know. He drank, then his face changed, witnesses said. The room smelled of bourbon. Laughter turned uneven. Notes later described him as severely disturbed. Experiment was not recorded as informed consent. After the retreat, Olson told colleagues he felt wrong inside. He could not sleep. He stared at walls, then rubbed his temples. CIA records say he became paranoid and depressed. His family remembered a man suddenly distant at breakfast. He pushed eggs around his plate. He asked, "What's happening to me?" Olson did not travel alone. He was accompanied by CIA officer Robert Lashbrook. That pairing appears in CIA narratives later summarized for the Rockefeller Commission. On the night of November 27, 1953, they stayed at the Statler. In the early hours of November 28th, Olson fell from the window. The hallway carpet smelled of damp wool. A hotel bar hummed below. Lashbrook later told investigators Olson seemed calm, then suddenly panicked. A crash followed. The window was open. Lashbrook called downstairs, then government machinery began moving. For 2 decades, the family had only the suicide story. The Olson name surfaced. In the living room, papers spread across a table. The air felt thin. The family asked one question. Why was LSD hidden? The pathologist was Dr. James Starrs, a forensic expert. He examined the remains and photographed the skull. He later told reporters and the family about injuries that raised questions. Starrs reported head injuries he believed could be consistent with a pre-fall blow, though that interpretation has been disputed. A fall can break bones, but a pre-fall strike changes the story. The idea of a struggle returned, not as rumour, but as anatomy. The government had already tried to close the moral account. Ford issued an apology for the LSD dosing, according to public reports. The papers were signed, but the question stayed. An apology explains a drug. It does not explain a window or a missing screen. Partial disclosure came in fragments. The church committee documented MKUltra abuses, then noted foyer releases filled gaps but not the room. Lashbrook's account remained central, yet untested in court. The NYPD file stayed narrow. If Olson was a security risk, there were motives. He had worked near lethal programs. Colleagues later hinted he had moral doubts about what he saw. CIA accounts later given to investigators stated that Lashbrook accompanied Olson. The unanswered questions are simple and heavy. Why was Olson taken to New York, not a hospital? Why was his colleague not a doctor in the room? Why did early reports omit the LSD? Why did the CIA keep the family in the dark until investigations forced names onto paper? The Rockefeller Commission and Church Committee confirm the drugging, but not the final seconds. Between a blow and a fall, there is a missing moment and missing witnesses. Frank Olson's story remains a measure of public trust. The verified record shows a CIA scientist drugged without consent, confirmed by federal investigations. The record shows destroyed files and that the family was misled for years. Questions remain about the thoroughness of the original investigation. What happened in that room is still disputed. Suicide, accident, or something forced. The legacy is not only one death, it is a method. Secrets kept in compartments, answers offered in pieces, and a window left open to doubt.